A note to viewers. I use the word sex and other terms that mean sex to put risk into perspective. There is no nudity, nor am I going to be politically anything. I'm simply using something that we're all curious about, sex, to start a new dialogue about how we manage risk. The opinions in this video are explicitly my own, while the catchy concept of food, sex, and salmonella originates from the book Food, Sex, and Salmonella by Dr. David Waltner-Tays, promoted here with permission. Hi everyone, my name is Sylvia Chong, and when it comes to food processing, I make sense of the technical nonsense. I love teaching entrepreneurs about food safety because we can have conversations about things that are really important to your business, like how eating is our way of having sex with the environment and how risk management is actually an industry secret to success. Yes, you heard me right. When we eat, we're fornicating with the environment. Everything out there that comes into intimate contact with our food ends up in here and then gets down and dirty with our system. So when I'm talking about the things from the environment that have hooked up with our food and want to get fresh with us, this includes the water, the soil, the manure, fertilizers, anything that's come into contact with our food. So eating may seem like a harmless, carefree activity, but there's a lot that can go wrong. Not everything in our environment is our friend. Toxins are substances that come from living cells or organisms, and we consider toxins to be anything that can act as a poison and cause disease. Disease means the lack of ease, which can be anything from gas and bloating for someone who's sensitive to gluten, or an infection of Helicobacter pylori that can cause peptic ulcers and lead to autoimmunity. What's obvious to us are the highly virulent pathogens like E. coli, O157H7, Listeria, Salmonella, Clostridium botulinum as some examples. These pathogens can quickly cause severe damage to our health and in some cases even lead to death. But just monitoring for pathogens that have caused problems in the past is a flawed approach because pathogens are like people in the way that they can adapt and become immune to our methods of eliminating them. MRSA, methicillin-resistant Staph aureus, is a type of infection that's caused by a strain of Staphylococcus aureus that has now become resistant to many of the antibiotics that are used to treat ordinary staph infections. So if we're only looking for historically significant pathogens like E. coli, O157H7, Salmonella, Listeria, Clostridium, other pathogens like MRSA can get into our food and potentially cause a disaster of epidemic proportions. And there are synthetic chemical toxins like bisphenol A or BPA. BPA was first synthesized in 1891. By 1960, it was approved for use in food packaging. In the early 1990s, scientists began to study the effects of BPA on estrogen activity, and by 2008, Canada and other countries quickly banned it from baby bottles since it was found to be toxic to human health and the environment. It took us 117 years in total to see how this chemical has been harming us and to do something about it. New chemicals are being introduced all the time without thorough safety validation. So it's not enough for us to only look at what we know causes disease, and it's not enough for us to rely on history because there's just too much that we don't know, and things change. The only way to stop something so ambiguous is to prevent it from happening in the first place, and we have the tools to do that. Now we have this thing called government, and they make some rules for us to follow. A rule that's in place for food processors is the use of food safety management by the operations. As a food processor, I would immediately feel worried because it sounds like more work that I can't see the direct financial benefit of. And I'm confused because they're using a lot of acronyms, big words and terms, and the requirements aren't the same for everybody. Do you see the disconnect here? We're selective about our sexual partners. So why would you make a food product without taking the necessary precautions to prevent disease? What if I told you that food safety management was actually the key to building resiliency into your business? Because it is. Yep, I'm telling you, an industry secret that's so secret, most of the people in the corporate food world don't even know because they just don't see it. We can build resilience into our business by setting up our operations to run like a well-oiled machine. Food safety is just a part of that. And here's how we do it. Step 1. Look for threats. For the food safety part, we call these hazards. Step 2. Figure out how those threats can be kept under control. And step 3. Map it all out using written policies, procedures, and prove it by keeping records. A simplified view of what we call an operational plan or a playbook, but if we look at it from a lens of understanding and a perspective that this is totally going to keep things running smoothly, it's not such a hurdle anymore, and maybe we're a little less reluctant too. Your playbook is just part of the business, that allows you to operate day to day from a position of power, a position where you can handle those scary monsters and zombies that are going to hide under your bed. And when your operations is running like a well-oiled machine, you're actually in the best position for growth, whether it be new product development, scale up, or some other way to evolve. We've been looking at food safety from a perspective of fear, which is only natural because monsters and zombies, they're scary. But those government dudes, they actually have a really good point and a strategy for how to deal with those monsters, but we're too busy being afraid and angry because we are told we have to see how exciting this actually is. So if we have a way to manage those monsters, whether it be Salmonella or Syphilis, we can actually relax, get busy, and discover something new and exciting. I know you're really excited about building a resilient business, and I want you to show me how excited you are by 1, subscribing to Foundtree TV, liking this video, sharing it on Facebook, and commenting on how you would deal with the monsters under your bed. My next episode will be a continuation of the value-added product development series focused on food safety and regulatory requirements for packaged products. Thanks for watching Foundtree TV. I'm Sylvia Chong, getting you excited about building resiliency into your business by making sex analogies and telling you secrets.